Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Kimbo here, and it's time for an epic Bakugan Geogan Rising episode review. It's still on the same day. Well, technically not the same day, but the same batch. Like I said, binging it all day, and this will probably be the last one I do for the day, because it is getting late. But I've been loving it, man. I've been loving this show and just gotten into it big time. So, with this, we have Bakugan Geogan Rising episodes 20 and 21 to get into, man. Yeah, 20 and 21. So, things are getting real. We're in the middle of the big battle, the judgment battle. The battle judgment is underway, this tournament, and whoever wins moves on, whoever loses is out, you know. And yeah, so getting into it, we're in the water world now. So, we are in the realm of Aratopolis, I think. Yeah, Aratopolis. I might forget the names, but happens. But now we're in the water world, which is known as Equalia. And now being in Equalia, at first the awesome brawlers see it and they're like, "What is there to it? Like, it just looks like a bunch of water." And Shark Tower's like, "No, that's not Equalia at all." Then they go underwater, and that's where things get spicy. So it's a complete like underwater world, which is so cool to see, man. You could see like coral reefs, you could see like structures and such that were built underwater. It's just so awesome. But the crazy kicker is a certain scene that we get with it. There's a certain area, they call it like a shrine of restoration or something like that. I got big time Legend of Zelda vibes with that. You already know, because Breath of the Wild Shrine of Resurrection. I'm really excited for Breath of the Wild too. I can't wait for next year, and next year is going to be a renaissance for gaming. But anyways, yeah, getting into it, in this shrine there are a bunch of Bakugan. So ones that were defeated on Earth, they came back to Australia, but they went to no, not Aratopolis. They went to Aquilia, and that's where they were, just getting their power restored. And even looking down, they see some of their old pals like Farrell down there, Gillator down there, Trox, yup. You already know. Pegatrix, yup. It was wild, man. Yeah. So crazy, dude. And just so much development, even with that. Like, where are they? That's where they are. But Pyravian said it'll still take a long time for them to recover their power. You know. So yeah, after that, they're looking for the artifact, of Aqualia. And so they sent Dan and Drago to get it. But meanwhile, there's a battle going on. So the first battle was actually Shun versus Mccue. So seeing this battle, except that Sharktar versus Tornoid this time. And then in the middle of the battle, basically, Shun going to Talon. But then Tornoid trying to use all 6 cores, so tried to pull that ultimate like Villox freaking trying to put in a cheat code. He is like every single battle, like I'm gonna win and I'm gonna use a cheat code, that being all of these, and have the ultimate version. Like, oh, let's make ultimate Tornoid, but it didn't work. He rejected all of them, and it got really PO'd and started running around like crazy. Lost complete control and such, and then just took advantage of that, and Shun getting the win. So Shun moving on, Mccue being eliminated, that being how the beginning part goes. And then the second half focusing on Dan and Drago, their journey. So they're waiting for Dan and Drago, for the next battle. And they're like, oh, they just went to the bathroom. Meanwhile, they're trying to get the artifact because they're trying to find the artifact of Equalia, which they did manage to find. Um, you know, Once they found it, they had to figure out, like, there was powerful torrent waves around it, and they figured out that they just had to read the movement of the waves, and then sure enough, Drago did, got on the inside, and then managed to get the artifact. So the artifact of Equalia is now in the hands of Drago. He managed to get it. This is definitely the way that they're building up to Geoforge for sure. All the artifacts, when they put them together, they'll be able to get the true bonds with the other awesome bro. Yeah, it makes perfect sense with it. It's gonna be honestly really sick to see how it plays out. But yeah, afterwards, Dan and Drago fly back, and they manage to stall, at the actual like battle arena, and then they got back. Villock was just about to like disqualify them, but then they got back and got into the battle. So it was Crystal Blue versus Dan. So this was a big one right away. Like Apophix versus Drago. So intense. Apophix making holes into structures. So it has a strategy of circling around, and Drago's blind spots can't really see it because it's moving around where the holes were and hitting it that way. But then, Dan and Drago obviously powering up. And then it was a battle of the Geogan with this one. So Crystal Blue has Swarmer. She has Swarmer, but it's an Aqua Swarmer. I thought that it was going to be Ventus for sure. But nah, it's Aqua. Aqua Swarmer is the one that we see in the show, which is why they're holding off and putting it out to give an anime Geogan. Yeah, but then, of course, Dan with Archelion. They battle. Archelion does overpower it. And, Dan does get the win. So Crystal Blue is knocked out, But it was a really, really epic battle for sure. Yeah. And then that's it for that round. And then now getting into episode 21. But still, overall, you already know. Loving the battles and such. They're all so, so intense. Seeing how these new Bakugan really are putting up good fights. Like, they're really testing them for sure. And then them having their own Geogan too. And Geogan getting revealed for the enemy, for the evil characters slowly. So we got Swarmer, and even more getting revealed and such. Didn't get one revealed for Mccue, because, I feel like he's going to have Amfrog. Like, for real, I could see him having Amfrog, but it just doesn't matter with this right now, this tournament. But, yeah, I could see him having Amfrog. Yeah, dude. So, anyways, getting into episode 21, we've got Ventana. So, Ventana is the Ventus world, and they're traveling there. And it just looks so cool, man. Seeing all the greenery and such with it, for sure. All the vegetation. It's really, really awesome. So, when we get there, we get the first battle. So, the first battle is between Magnus and Winton, and it's really intense, man. And right away, they're sending Drago to, Dan and Drago to go find the artifact in this world. But yeah, we have Magnus and Winton facing off, and at first, like, Nilius' power is insane. It shows. They're hyping it up for sure. Magnus trained hard for this. He's aiming for Dan, and he's going to go through everybody that he needs to or has to in order to get to Dan and have that rematch battle and finally take out Dan Kuzo. He's that dedicated. You could tell with how he's battling. He was not playing any games with this. He was getting pushed back big time. Nilius is powerful, dude. He ain't playing no games. Not even the third head. Full Alpha Hydronoid up in here. He ain't playing no games. He's putting in that work. Like, big time. He was getting pushed back big time, and then even brought out Talon, and he's like, "You're really relying on the Geogan for this battle?" Okay, like, how boring. And then, sure enough, he brings out his Geogan, so Hyenix shows up. So Hyenix versus Talon. Hyenix whoops Talon, honestly. But Winton thought of a big time thing in this window. So he's like, in this small window, there's nothing that the brawler does. And he figured out that window. And he wanted Falcron to attack in that window because how fast Falcron was. And because of that, as soon as it disappeared, they let their guard down. Winton's going in for that attack because Magnus looked over and he's like, where'd it go? Going for that attack right there in that small window and got a major hit. Almost beat Magnus with that attack out of nowhere. But then Magnus had one last core left. He tossed it to Nilius. Nilius getting that big time hit in. You hear Falcron say, sorry, Winton. And then goes down. But it was intense, man. And at first, Magnus was talking smack. He's like, you're so weak. But nah, he was, at the end, he was like, I was wrong about how weak you are. You gotten stronger. And then Winton saying, next time I'll beat you, Magnus. So Magnus getting the win with this, moving on. Yeah, Magnus is definitely like that anti-hero. He's on, like, Villock and, Reed's team. But you could tell he's just there just to battle Dan. That's the only reason he's there. He's definitely an anti-hero. So, Yeah, he's not fully evil like the other characters are on the team, but he's got that much power, and Gregorius Reed only cares about using them right now because that's just what he does. He uses his money and his power and such and his fame. But yeah, dude. Anyways, really, really dug how this episode was. Like, I loved how strong they made Winton look because he's very powerful, and even pushing Magnus to that point, like, it shows how strong he is for sure. Hyping up and showing the power of the Awesome Brawlers in a big time way, dude. So, yeah, even in defeat, Winton looking really good with this, and Magnus, of course, moving on. Yeah, so what? Thus far, Dan won his battle, Gregorius Reed won his battle, Shun won his battle, and yeah, I think what is that? Leah won her battle, and also the battle that Shun had, he was trying to stall during the battle so that Dan could find the artifact for the 20th episode. I think I just spoiled some. I think I just spoiled. Yeah, I probably did. I think so. But whatever. Anyways, getting into the episode, um, Dan and Drago are still looking for the artifact, and sitting there. It's basically like they're following a bunch of different lights, and once Drago puts his hand on one of the monuments, it shows a light. The light gives them a path. It's sort of like I swear, another Legend of Zelda reference, but when you're going through the Lost Woods and you got the fire guiding, the path where you go. Sort of that. But yeah, man, then they finally get to the final point, but they can't get to it because there's a bunch of Venus flytraps completely surrounding it, completely surrounding the artifact that's there. Um, but yeah, at the same time, there's a battle going on with Leah, and it's supposed to be against Gregorius Reed and Villock, but Villock wasn't feeling well. Gregorius Reed apparently wasn't feeling too good after the battle. No, Villock wasn't feeling too good after the battle, apparently. So he asked for a replacement, and Leah's like, "Can you even do that?" And Gregorius Reed's like, "There's the fate of two planets on the line here. There, of course, can be replacements. You're welcome to use some too if you'd like, being all smug and such." But basically, he replaced himself and Villock with Strata and his new Bakugan Harperion. So, yeah, so we got Harperion versus Fenneca, really intense battle, and then it comes down to the Geogan, and we got Insectra, Strata having Insectra, and then Leah having Arachnia. So these two facing off, and then just full power wise, because honestly, Harperion being really wild, not wanting to listen to anything Estrada was saying, and just being a wild Bakugan and having some big time pride. But, you know, since they didn't work together and how Leah and Fenneca are working so well together, it'd be, obviously they used their bond and managed to defeat them power wise, and Leah won it and knocked out Strata. Well, actually, didn't knock out Strata. The crazy part with this is that it counted for Villock and Reed. So they didn't even care about winning this. There's a bigger scheme with things, and it shows. It shows in the biggest way for sure. He's not caring about this. It's like Villock's stalling for time. He's stalling for time in a big time way. Something wicked's gonna happen, but it's just gonna take some time. You already know. I can imagine like a swerve, like another reference, except it's the Pokemon one. A swerve like how it was with N and Getsus during Black and White, because you have N being like this big time leader that's built up and such. But basically, the plan is your character faces off against N in this final battle, and you think that's how it's going to end. But then Getsus has a big time plan, and then comes in and tries to use his Iron Fist, and doesn't care. So sort of that same thing with this, get the final battle here, which definitely the final battle is now building up to be Dan and Magnus now that Reed's out of this. He's out of the tournament, so it's definitely building up. They're building up to that battle with Magnus and Dan for sure. And that'll be the end. And then after that, that's when crap's gonna really hit the fan with this season. Definitely can feel it. But yeah, it's gonna be intense seeing that battle for sure. But as for Dan and Drago, uh, Dan says, "Do you believe in me, Drago? Like, do you trust me? I know I'm not always right with everything, but trust me now. Let them capture you." He's like, "What? Let them capture you, Drago. He said, okay. And then all the fly traps, as he flies down, they capture Drago. They pull him under, but when he gets pulled under, there's actually the artifact, the real one. So the top one was a decoy, you know. And the way is like they had to communicate and show their trust and friendship to that deepest level. The trust, like you've gotta get attacked by all these fly traps, you know, and face that fear and such, but trusting your partner with it and having that true trust. And that's why they managed to find it. But now having three of them, man, they gained some big time power for sure. There's three more to go, and they're definitely building up to that ultimate point. Because I feel like once you get to all the artifacts, you already know the perfect setup for Geoforge Drago, having that bond with all the brawlers with all the artifacts. Yeah, it's gonna be the big time fight, and that is probably what's gonna happen after the tournament actually ends. You know what I mean? So you're gonna have like this big time battle with Magnus and Dan, and then after that, Crab's really gonna hit the wall, and Ultimate Villock's gonna be trying to fly big time, like using full power. Even at this point, you know, Gregorius Reed's out there, and he's been one that's been one step ahead the entire time. But I feel like when crap really hits the fan, it's gonna be, you know, Villock has always been one step ahead because you know, like, oh, you're a silly human, and he's using Gregorius Reed. You know, he doesn't care. He only cares about separating the two planets. So, would he use Gregorius Reed to do so? Abso-freaking-lutely. It's Villock. You already know. So, probably the big setup will be with Villock, with ultimate Villock, his ultimate power, having to take out that power, and he's going to try to use that power to force them to separate. And then Drago's going to step in and be like, nah, bruh. So that'll be our final battle, probably Ultimate Villock versus the Geoforge Drago, which wouldn't be surprised one bit. Yeah, that's a sick way of like setting it up and such too. But still, I'm enjoying it big time. Definitely digging how this season's going. Still totally solid. Like I said, how they introduced characters from season 1 and 2, even having like the new season characters coming in, developing them, bringing them up big time, even having characters like Strata still be a big part of things, you know, Mccue being a part of things, you know. Yeah, it's really epic. I'm loving this setup. And I can't wait to see how things are gonna go for this final arc, you know. After they get all the artifacts and everything, how the rest of this tournament's going to go, and then how things are going to get even wild after that. But yeah, man. Anyways, that's going to do it for this episode review. If you guys have seen the episode as well, or before this point, definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And yeah, man, you know I've been getting into a big time binging the episodes. I'm going to get caught up really soon, man. Before the end of the month, I'm going to have them all done. You already know. For sure. Maybe even before, like, the end of the week, because I'm big time into it. But yeah, do have some things to do, but at least I've gotten a good amount of the episode reviews out, and I'm loving it, dude. Definitely, I'm just gonna binge it and get all the way through it. Just my style. It's how I even watch animes. I'll just go all the way through, man. I binged it like Inuyasha, Teen Titans, and such over the summer. Like, yeah, there's other animes I really want to watch too. Things any of you guys are thinking about, like, watch this anime. Let me know that in the comments too. I'm just saying. Um, but also saying like One Piece and Bleach probably down the table right now because they take forever to get through. But yeah. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for this episode review, this double episode review on episodes 20 and 21. Hope you guys enjoyed. 5 left. Pretty sure it's done at 26, right? So 5 left. I'll be doing 2 and then like 1 for the final. You already know. So yeah, but anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to slice that like button down below. Let me know how I did. If you're new to my channel, definitely be sure to subscribe for some epic content because I upload daily. And if you haven't already, be sure to ring that bell by my channel name to be notified whenever I upload a video. So yeah, guys, till next time, it is your boy Kimbo signing off. See you guys later. Thanks so much for watching. Till then, stay awesome and Bakugan Brawl. I'm up out of here.